Nigerians, and welcome to another beautiful edition of Inside Nigeria, your number one breakfast show on television. My name is Winifred Webo, and unfortunately for today, my midweek guest studio is unfortunately absent. So I'm here alone in the studio, as you can see, just to review on the front page stories making the rounds on today's Nigerian newspapers. And of course, as usual on the program, we're flagging up with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership, what is it leading with? Leadership says 54 days to inauguration. Tinubu headhunts best brains, competence for appointments. 54 days to inauguration. Tinubu headhunts best brains, competence for appointments. Sanusi, Gbajabiamila, Alake, El-Rufai, Akume shortlisted. Fayemi, Fashola, Adeyeye may be considered. And of course, on leadership, you have pictures, passport photographs of all some of the candidates being or some of the persons being considered for appointment. You have M.I. Sanusi, Speaker of the House of Reps, Gbajabiamila, Alake, El-Rufai, Akume, Fayemi, Fashola, and Adeyeye. 54 days to inauguration. Tinubu headhunts press brains, competence for appointments. That's leading story on leadership. And of course, we also have similar stories with other papers as well, and that is the treason charges levied against Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi by the federal government. The leadership captures it. Obi Dati Ahmed kick over federal government's treason allegation. Obi Dati Ahmed kick over federal government's treason allegation. So it's on page 7 of leadership. And above that story, that strict story, we have relief as federal government halts planned raise in excise duty on beverages. Relief as federal government halts planned raise in excise duty on beverages. Above the masthead, Trump arraigned for 34 criminal charges, pleads not guilty. The former US President Donald Trump arraigned for 34 criminal charges, pleads not guilty. Bandits make fresh 100 million naira demand in Niger. Bandits make fresh 100 million naira demand in Niger. And of course, by the still on leadership cover, we have APC governors meet today as race for 10th NAS leadership intensifies. Now, APC governors meet today as race for 10th NAS leadership intensifies. Federal government opens second Niger bridge May 15. Completes local Oweto bridge. Government adopts 8 students, village head's wife, son in Kaduna, Kano. On the page of leadership, we move over to the page 3 of the paper. That is our stand. Our stand says, sack Peseru, Yusuf now. Sack Peseru, Yusuf now. That is the stand on the editorial stand of leadership. And from that editorial stand, we move over to the back page of the paper, where you have the Wednesday column with Hannatu Musawa, and it is on the Ramadan ID. The Ramadan ID. Find out more on her column on the back page of leadership. And of course, Ghana must go. Ghana must go says Falana gives reasons why he cannot stop his son from embarrassing governments. And of course, the reply, yes, daddy. Yes, yes, daddy. So for more stories, for more on the stories on leadership, the cover and the inside pages as well, you log on to the website www.leadership.ng. That is for leadership. From leadership, we move over to the Punch. The Punch is leading with post the same trending story on all the papers. Obi post-election threats. Obi Dati risks treason charges. Federal government wants. Post-election threats. Obi Dati risk treason charges. Federal government wants. Labour Party presidential candidate deputy calling for insurrection treasonable minister. Obi should face the law, says APC. Federal government's allegation reckless, say Obi PDP. Reps condemn calls for interim government as DSS to arrest enemies of democracy. And of course, as usual on Punch newspaper, you have pictures of Trump as he pled not guilty to criminal charges yesterday. You can see Trump in the tribunal, surrounded by maybe his lawyers. Then on the right hand side, you also have some protesters carrying, uh, I think, anti-Trump protesters carrying placards. Nobody's above the law, they say. Some of the placard says, and you even have some arrests. That is the pictures on the punch on Trump facing charges, 34 criminal charges. Protest as Trump pleads not guilty to criminal charges. Then, about the masthead of the Punch newspaper, we have foreign investors Sean Kano, Rivers, Ogun, 24 states. Foreign investors Sean Kano, Rivers, Ogun, 24 states. Naira crisis, cash circulation low, NLC to CBN. Of course, that is true. On my way to the office today, I actually branched some 2 banks, and up to now, they are not still dispensing cash as we speak. Even the old ones too are not. Old Naira notes are still not available. Nigeria more divided than civil war era, Sanusi. Nigeria more divided than civil war era, Sanusi. That is on the Punch newspaper. It's a whole master with the picture of MS Sanusi there. And underneath the picture, we have Ramadan, avoid offensive sermons. Esunukwe tells clerics. Ramadan, avoid offensive sermons. Esunukwe tells clerics. Suspected headers kill Benue community leader, 2 others. Suspected headers kill Benue community leaders, 2 others. How bandits abducted 8 Kaduna female students, residents. Stories on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. And of course, it's a full-page story on that, giving an insight into how the 8 students were abducted. From the Punch newspaper, before we leave the Punch newspaper, for more stories on the Punch newspaper, you can also log into their website www.punchng.com. That is for now. For all we can take now on Punch newspaper. And just before we go, let's see the editorial trust of the paper today, and it says, "Stop the ethnic brickbats now." Stop the ethnic brickbats now. That is on the Punch, the editorial for today, April 5th, 2023. From the Punch newspaper, let's see what this day is leading with. Of course, it's also the same similar story on Obi Dati. This day says Obi kicks as federal government accuses Labour Party presidential candidate running mate of treason. Says allegation fictitious, malicious campaign of calumny. Lai Mohammed, Atiku, ex-Anambra governor, have no pathway to presidency. NCC denies leaking Obi Oyedepo's telephone conversation. Recommends 2-factor authentication to secure WhatsApp. Bond urges Lai Mohammed to curb NBC's SS's. Stories on page 9. Trump pleads not guilty to 34 felony counts after arrest. Manhattan District Attorney says thorough investigation led to former US President's indictment. I state that Bond urges Lai Mohammed to curb NBC's SS's. NBC has just fined China's television 5 million naira, and prior to that one, it also fined the Arise television of about 1 million or 2 million naira. And of course, many newspaper houses, journalists have not taken it easy. Then about the masthead, we have the story of Sibmadio raises hope of Africa becoming first truly green civilization. Doma Egba says APC escaped same fate ticket crisis by Whisker. So for more on the stories, you can also log on to this day website www.thisdaylive.com. So when we as this we want to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be reading more on some of the stories making advance on other papers. Don't go away. We see other papers on our menu today.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. Voila, my midweek guest is here. Kikuchi, if I like to call him, the affairs analyst, a TV host, and a syndicated economist, Jide Oju. Thank you so much for making it, despite all the efforts. I actually thought you won't be able to make it.
No, I was caught up in traffic, and apologies for coming. It's very unlike me. But we live in a very unpredictable world. And I don't have an helicopter or private jet yet.
Yes, we just discussed some, not discussed actually, we just reviewed some news headlines making the rounds today, and it's generally the same story on these treasonable charges Lai Mohammed levied against Peter Obi and that. So perhaps we want to make your position on that. The Guardian is also leading with the same story. Federal government will betray accusations on treason charge. Mohammed will be for insurrection, will be the marketing me not good for Nigeria. Don't misinform international community, LP cautions Mohammed. Reps condemns interim government plot, tax security agencies on vigilance. And the nation federal government will be that is actions treasonable. Post integrity intact, Soyinka declares that is TV chat. Obi denies it all. Lai Mohammed says it was wrong for Obi in one breath to seek redress in court over the outcome of the polls, and in other breath incite people to violence. The Democrats should not believe in democracy only when he wins the election. And of course, Peter Obi replies, it's most unfortunate that these consistent efforts to portray me quite contrary to what I am and my core values is coming from such high quarters. Minister Lai accusing me of stoking insurrection is totally malicious and fictitious. So what are your views on that?
Anyway, something must occupy us since last week when we featured on this program. Without Sapon, recall that over the weekend there was the Yes Daddy
Okay, thank you,
audio, and I think that's why uh, Minister Lai is warning Peter B that his action is treasonable because, unlike many people, I think what the portion that in that years that the interview with Bishop Oyedepo was about calling the last election a religious war. You know, where Bishop Oyedepo said, "Yes, I believe that. I believe that. I believe that." You know, what is religious war? If this is an election, but of course, different tactics were used. P2B decided to align with the church. He is a staunch Catholic, but you saw him going to all the Pentecostal churches for endorsement, going to general overseers, going to bishops, going to all of those. And even I was on the program where it was alleged that when he went to Adamawa, instead of campaigning in the state capital, as many candidates are wont to do, he actually went to the Christian-dominated southern Adamawa to campaign. And when you listen to that Yes Daddy interview, he actually did say he went to meet Olofa of Ofa. Ofa is just a town in Kwara State, not even Ilorin. You didn't deem it fit to go and meet any of Ilorin to seek endorsement. You now went to Ofa because Bishop Oyedepo is from Umuaron, which is very close to Ofa. And you said he has said that the Olofa of Ofa said, okay, he has said he will talk to you. So by and large, the sentiment, the religious sentiment that was whipped up by some of the candidates is very reprehensible. While many people were accused Bola Tinubu of being insensitive to the secularity of Nigeria by flying with the same ticket, same fare ticket, there is also those who will accuse Peter Obi of, making the campaigns about religion and preaching instead with the Christian faith rather than embracing the secularity of Nigeria. Now that is for Peter Obi. The other one was Obidati. Recall that I said Obidati. That's Papa. Was it last week? He had on channels, and I watched a clip of that where he was saying that by his own interpretation of Section 134 sub 2, that Tinubu did not meet the basic requirement to be declared a winner. And that if he is inaugurated, definitely it will be a coup. It will be an undemocratic government. I thought that as leaders of thought, as statesmen, that kind of statement should not be coming on live television. Why? You are not known to be a lawyer. 2, you already have approached court to find, and when an issue is sub judice, you're not supposed to discuss it. You have gone to court. Part of what you have gone to canvass in court is that the Tinubu Shettima did not meet the basic requirement. Now you cannot come on a live television and start giving your own interpretation. You should have allowed the court, and because of this, Channels Television was slapped with 5 million naira fine because when you say inaugurating Tinubu will amount to unconstitutional government, what does that mean? And in the course of this last one with Winifred, we have also seen those who went to defense headquarters to ask for military intervention. We have also seen those who are calling for interim national government. We have also seen a purported passenger on Ibon flight from Abuja to Lagos who said, "Oh, you people and watching, and Tinubu is going to be inaugurated, like it will not happen. And he has to be disembarked and charged to court, I think on Monday. And so this series of groundswell of opinion, people calling for military takeover, people talking about having an interim national government, which is not known to the constitution. It's because I am alive and I was an adult in 1993 when the interim national government first came into Nigerian political lexicon. I was an adult and we thought nothing much of ABN, Association for Better Nigeria, spearheaded there by late Francis Otto Izeribe, who later became a senator from Oguta in Imo State, and Abimbola Davis. These are characters that people thought they really should not be taken serious. But what did we see? They called for the nullification of the election of June 12, and by June 23, it was nullified. Then the next thing we saw the installation of interim national government headed by late Chief Ernest Choneko. And so sometimes things starts like joke, like in no course, you just say, this people are not supposed. It's not like even the Tinubu and Atiku can not taking Obi-Tobi's candidacy serious. So these are 4 people tweeting in a room. But when the reality dawned on them, they said, these people can actually upset the apple cart. So what I'm saying is that it's good enough that the federal government has warned Peter Obi and Dr. Baba Ahmed to note that they are being monitored and they have been warned that their action is treasonable. They have subjected their grievance and their grounds on the 2023 presidential election to judicial review. Let the judicial. I can talk. I'm not a stakeholder. I don't have any case before the court. But for them, having decided to put their trust in the judiciary, it should not then be happening that you are now discrediting and saying that inaugurating a properly elected presidency will amount to illegality. That is very inciting, because as you have known, Peter Obi has very large followership, and words by these leaders could actually incite. And it was getting to that stage where they were protesting at Unity Fountain, and the people from Tinubu can also start protesting at the same time.
In fairness to Peter Obi, he has issued at least 2 press statements that nobody should protest on his behalf. He has confidence in the judiciary.
Exactly. So the years that this claim happened before the election. But this is why our leaders of thought need to exercise circumspection. Now, recall, Winifred, that after that election, about 3-5 days after, a leaked audio of Charlie Boy and Obasanjo also surfaced, where Charlie Boy called Obasanjo and was saying, "Papa, what do I do now? What do we do?" That Obasanjo was responding, "I hope the youths are protesting. They should not allow this result to start." And then Donald Duke also featured in that audio clip, which shows that these leaders are being monitored. And they are being monitored, their calls, their movements are being monitored by the state. And if they decide to go anti-democratic way, they can be embarrassed. Since that leaked audio, which was also confirmed to be true, happened, I don't know the exact day, but I listened to it. I don't know whether you listened to it. Where Charlie Boy, called Baba and was saying, "Baba, what do we do now? What do we do now?" And Obasanjo responded, the youth should not allow the result to stand. And Obasanjo he issued a statement was it the night of that February 25th or the following day and saying that the election should be cancelled. So these are actions, and I feel when you call somebody a statesman, they should behave like one. Obasanjo is not the first former president we have. We have Goodluck Jonathan, who is also former president. We have Yakubu Gowon, former head of state. Abdulsalami Abubakar of National Peace Committee. We have IPP. Why should Obasanjo be the one pitching his tent against, the popular wish of the people? And, my own point is, I'm not in a position to say who is right or who is wrong, but they should know, even me, ordinary citizen, I cannot pretend that my calls are not being monitored. There was an article I did in my column where I raised issue because National Assembly was voted some money for the security agencies to track calls of people, and I raised objection to that. But people don't seem to care, and that's why you see some people, when they want to do some very sensitive business, they say let's meet.
You raised the alarm earlier on.
Yeah,
this monitoring of God.
Yeah, yes, I did because I knew, and that's why sometimes when particularly for politically exposed persons, they don't discuss much on phone. They just organize meeting, and then they make sure that their meeting is held in a secure place where they can have some privacy. This is not the first time. Recall that even Bubu's President Buhari's President Goodluck Jonathan's conversation in the presidency was leaked ahead of inauguration in 2015. His conversation was leaked, and people started saying, who leaked this? That's the president's conversation. Today, look at Donald Trump. All his calls, all his emails, everything now is now going to be used to nail him in the city of New York over the 34 felony charges that was preferred against him yesterday. So, for politically exposed person, they need to be very, very circumspect, because what you say innocuously can be, meanings can be read into it, and even your conversation can be doctored to embarrass you. And that's why I agree that anybody that have issues with the presidential election or the general election has the opportunity of having a judicial review. But what I've also found in the civic space is a deliberate attempt to malign the judiciary. I don't know whether you've seen it, Winifred, where people will be saying, if somebody commit an offense and the person who committed the offense is asking the victim to go to court, that means his father, his senior brother, or his relative is the judge. You know that kind of, it was gaining traction on the social media. And I said, this is dangerous. This is dangerous because the alternative to judicial review is resorting to self-help.
If I may also intrude, you cannot actually blame Nigerians for that, because we've seen some cases which ordinarily will have been. It is in this country, Nigeria, that somebody that took fourth became the governor ahead of those that even took second, third.
Now, I agree.
And it's also in the same court that we've seen somebody that did not contest participate in the primaries was now made the candidate.
Now listen to me. Listen to me.
I
blame them. See, for every court decision, for every decision made by a judge against one friend, against one enemy, I don't know whether you get me. People are maligning the court as if the same court, have not done substantial justice. Look at what the judiciary did in 2019, where the elected representatives of APC in Zamfara State were all asked to have their certificate of return withdrawn and given to those who came first runner-up. Not only PDP, there was even a candidate of ADC that won by virtue of that. That time, the judiciary didn't do wrong. Election has been concluded. Now, the Supreme Court said there was no properly conducted party primary. And for that reason, because of the infighting between Senator Kabiru Marafa and then Governor Yari there, the Supreme Court said there was no properly conducted primary.
But sorry to just what is it about this Zamfara? Because we had Matawale,
yes,
who was in PDP before, defected to APC.
And that's why he paid for it.
They not deported the PDP.
No, he paid for it. Because, listen, he felt Bello Matawale miscalculated.
Yes.
He felt he could only get re-elected by defecting to APC.
But he did that just 2 years or even a year.
But a year into his governorship. And he felt that is the way to get protection. Unfortunately, the Zamfara electorates know better. They felt he traded off their mandate, the mandate of PDP. So you could see in the lead up to
which he got on a
platter. Somebody who lost because APC did not get his house in order. So you can just imagine at the end of the day, Bello Matawale shot 5 media houses in the lead up to this election during the campaign. Bello Matawale closed down NGOs in Zamfara under the calling the dog a bad name in order to hang it. But the Zamfara electorate knew better. They said, look, for trading our mandate, PDP, you are going to be punished. And they punished it, which is why I believe in the sophistication of the Nigerian voters. When Nigerian voters, we have always believed that they are docile. If you induce them, you give them money, they can do. Look, I've seen billionaires, people who are billionaires, who gave everything, yet they lost election. It happened in Anambra. How much is Peter Obi's money? When he was running against Capital Oil, wait, he was running against Ifeanyi Uba. I think Ifeanyi Uba contested under Labour Party then. Ifeanyi Uba was giving in 2010. Wait now, in 2010, Ifeanyi Uba was giving people kerosene, free kerosene, was doing a lot of inducement. You would think that it will, the Anambra voter will vote for him. With his billions he lost. And the Uba lost. That is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, you give it to the electorate. It has also happened that same Zamfara, where a former governor also defected, I think from PDP to APC, I don't know, the one that took over from the Ahmed Yerima. The governor that took over from Ahmed Yerima also did one time because he defected. No, the in-law to, is it in-law to IBB or whatever? Mahmuda Shinkafi. I think it's Mahmuda. Yes. He did only one time. When he defected, the people of Zamfara said, hey, you defected. Yes. I mean, so they said, we will not give you second term. And he lost. It's only thereafter, after that Mahmuda Shinkafi that Yari now did 8 years. This is my forte. This is my forte. And you need to also look at the result of the election.
He just did one time then.
He did one time, just like my Bello Matawale. Bello Matawale has to concede defeat.
But that was why I was so happy for, no matter what, this Bochi.
Madam Mohammed.
You see the way the
gang of
that the guy APC man
Sadiq Abubakar, the former chief of Air Staff,
supported by his wife, the humanitarian minister. Oh my God, that he still won.
I tell you, it's not only money. I've said
I practically did like this for him. I said, "How God?"
No.
Remember, his predecessor did one thing.
Yes, Emir Abubakar did one time. And the party people will always want you before the election. If you call them and they say one, if they say one, you are doing one time. Irrespective, even if you bring the entire money, you will say, look at what
was already almost accepting defeat. I will accept it because they were just intimidating.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me? Listen, it's not only that. Look at Delta. Delta that Labour Party won during the presidential election.
No, presidential is always the
No, wait. It's not even that I'm talking about. If you look at the way that election was panned out, Peter Obi of Labour Party won overwhelmingly Delta. But APC won 2 senatorial seats in that same election. Meanwhile, voters were given 3 ballot papers.
I know people in Delta that were telling me that no, presidential is any other is their favorite person.
APC won Delta Central, won Delta South. It's only Delta North
APC
that
won.
Yes, it's only Delta North that Nadu won. No, this is what I read yesterday. It was only Delta North that Nadu won under PDP.
And you now have
Yes,
governor.
even your state, even in your state in Gado, it's only South.
APC
won and Labour Party won the South. That's what I'm telling you. But who won overall? It was Peter Obi. You get so look at Oyo State. Oyo State, 33 local government of Oyo State voted APC, voted Tinubu on February 25. By March 18, they voted overwhelmingly for Makinde. You understand? So it's not about you have a war chest, you have all the money. People can collect your money. Look at Nasarawa here. Who would have thought that SDP will win 2 senatorial seats in the same election and Labour Party won overall? That same election, 3 weeks after APC. So you can just see.
And the women are so pained. Naked demonstration.
Forget that.
That brings me to the next person I was leading to. Because we're talking about judiciary. Now that their case is there, there's no need for inciting words. But we are seeing some cases that in some states, especially Rivers, INEC is playing hide and seek. APC cannot access the election materials. And PDP, on the other hand, is also sponsoring protests that they also want. So what is playing out?
Again, in my column in the Punch today, you need to read where I said Nigeria's political parties, INEC, and judiciary.
Yes.
We have a political class that will stop at nothing to get power. And this is what is being exhibited. Too much money in the system to frustrate every election. And that's why, the irony of this whole thing is that desperate politicians has also gone to ensure the frustration of the judicial system. Judiciary gave a state. I don't know the whole thing that panned out. I know that they said APC lawyers, 3 of them were arrested, but they've been released. Then there was a protest where Toyoko Ibumas is dressed.
Yes, I saw.
And the rivers have always been a hotbed of political crisis, particularly the election.
No, election has been done.
No, it's not about the election.
They have access now to see. And it was also what played out at the national.
No. What they can do is to go on appeal that INEC has not come, because there is a provision in the Electoral Act that says, I think under 14 days, a resident electoral commissioner must, make available all the materials. And that's what Peter Obi did when immediately he requested preservation of the election. And then they went to court. INEC went on appeal to allow the reconfiguration of the papers and all of that. The point is, it's so unfortunate that we have a political class in Nigeria that just want to win at all costs. And winning at all costs meaning even unleashing violence even after the election. Because I recall that part of the antics of the political class, and this is not peculiar to any political party, because in Rivers State it's PDP. But you can find out that in other places where another party is ruling, you may also find similar things playing out. So it's all the political class, all the political parties are copying from the same textbook. to make sure that they win at all costs, irrespective of whatever. They buy off witnesses, they threaten witnesses, they make sure that they waste the cost time. They will come up with all manner of injunctions, knowing full well that according to section 285 of the Constitution, you have 180 days within which to prove your case, and 21 days to file your petitions. And so all of these are part of the antics. But I think ultimately what the Toyoko can do is to go on appeal if the reg has refused to allow access to the materials that he will need to file his appeal, because he has 21 days. March 18, I don't know when the result was declared in the Rivers, I think on the 28th or 21st. So the 21 days starts to count from the day the result was declared. So it needs to really, if it needs to get order of mandamus, there is what is called order of mandamus in law that will compel INEC to make available the materials that it needs to prosecute its election. But you can also understand the kind of antics being played by PDP in Rivers State.
Yes,
they just want to
protest that
yes.
they want to access.
So it's just about frustrating.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that Senator Magnus Abe has been quiet somewhat because of possibly he was stunned by the outcome of that election. But you know, too much money is flowing in Rivers. You can see the kind of endorsement St. Fubara got ahead of that election. That almost even Labour Party and almost all of them were endorsing him that they were going to support him to coast home to victory. But ultimately, democracy is maturing. Okay. Just that we are making baby steps successes. It's not like as fast as we want the whole thing to be. But the blame, the highest portion of the blame still goes to the political class for the kind of antics that they deploy. Did you know that 6 INEC officials that were abducted in Kogi State, I don't know whether they've been released now, 50 million was being demanded by bandits before they will be released. Nobody is talking about that case again, you know. But is it INEC that sponsored that against its own adult staff? So it's some people who just want power at all costs, irrespective, not mind.
Trump bearing PDP protesters back to remain at
Rivers
INEC office.
We
saw pictures of them yesterday.
I didn't even have light to watch. You are lucky to be living in part of Africa where there's constant electricity.
Anyway, just before we go, time is running out against us. We have a leadership leading story. It says 54 days to inauguration. Tinubu headhunts best brains competence for appointments, and they listed Emir Sanusi, Gbajabiamila, Alake, El-Rufai, Akume, Fayemi, Fashola, and Adeyeye as those to be considered.
These are speculative. Yes, he has said he is going to run government of national competence, not government of national unity. But these are just media speculations. I'm not sure he will. I think I want to give Tinubu benefit of that. One, you also need to understand, Winifred, that the law has compelled him that he has just 60 days.
Yes. 60 days, that's 2 months.
Yes, to come up with his cabinet.
But,
likewise,
but on the softer side, I was wondering why the current president would actually assent to that, because giving his own presidency, it took him 6 months.
That's a correction that needed to be made. So it's good that now that he's leaving, he has decided that, okay, those who are coming after him will have 60 days. But I know that there will still be a lot of media speculations. All these ones, yes, you never can tell.
Even
I know one or two out of these.
People were speculating that
yes.
Will be
even Ganduje, I believe that Ganduje will also be appointed, because Ganduje did marvelously well for Tinubu. Even now, he has made Olubas of Ibadan the chancellor of one of the universities in Kano. And you know he's an in-law to Ajimobi.
Yes.
Ajimobi's son is married to Ganduje's daughter. So, but I mean, And you need to give it to APC governors. They made Ashwa this victory possible. If they did not stand for power shift to the south, forget it. That statement, that kite that was flown by Senator Adamu Abdullahi, that the president has endorsed president of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, that's what will have happened.
Yes.
That's what will have happened.
But they didn't bargain for the...
They didn't bargain from the pushback from the APC governors. And so...
I like what they said.
Yes.
What makes me happy is what they said, that we are not like PDP.
Exactly. We want to honor our promise that power will...
I really like that statement.
And you know, they say workshop means where you work is where you chop. So these people, particularly those who did not make it to Senate, they will find accommodation. Because whether you are a politician, you are first and foremost, you have a identity before you join politics. Some of them are technocrats.
Look at MSNBC. The paper speculated that maybe he may return to CBN.
As the CBN governor?
Yes, one of the papers.
Well, we wait to see.
But at the end of the day, with some Tinubu presidency, SNBC may return as CBN governor. That is unfounded. But nevertheless, be that as it may, many speculated that now that Kwankwaso is back in power in Kano, could he be returned?
Could who? Be returned to the palace? I don't think so. It's done in tenure. I'm not sure they want to upset the apple cart. The peace of Kano is very important for national stability. So he has been emir for some 4 or 5 years. So and now they just need to tap his expertise in the economy. Maybe he can lead the economic team, even if he's not the CBN governor.
But don't you think that all things considered, the president-elect may have also tested down those two?
But you can't run a one-man show. Yes. You know, one thing we need to understand is that all this media speculation arrives. Yes, there are media speculations, but he needs to select his cabinet in conjunction with his party. Remember when the first list of PCC came at 1,000? They said no, it generated a lot of furore. They now had to expand it by adding additional 2,000 because according to Adamu Abdullahi, the Tinubu Shetima were running a one-man show. The party was not involved. So in the final nomination of the cabinet, they need to have a roundtable with the party leadership so that the party will not be seen as being left behind. So at least they will get nominations, maybe 100 nominations or more, and then they will prune down to minimum of 36.
But just like now that you mentioned it, come to think of it, APC has a way of just resolving in-house issue, because that PCC issue, we thought it was going to
blow out of proportion.
But then they were able to manage it, and unlike PDP.
Anyway, APC is still young.
APC
is still young.
Because at the end, the people there were speculations we had that there's going to be an implosion. You understand?
Yeah, that's the expectation.
But they were still able to manage it.
Which is why they are still the party to beat, even after the election.
Well, thank you so much for making me the guest of it. It's always a pleasure to have you. You see how you light up the studio when you're around. Well,
just make a white envelope to follow. Say that I'm just not talking. You know this is a fasting period. I need to break fast. Whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim, this fasting has overlap. So if I get some motivation, that will also be fine. But thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. This is where we end today's show, your number one breakfast show on television. My name is Winifred Igbo, and I look forward to see you same time, same station tomorrow. See you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.